Good morning. Welcome home. Welcome back. Are we ready? Yeah? So, good morning, everyone. Today I'm here with IB2, otherwise known as grade 12, our seniors, and grade 10, otherwise known as IG2. And they are all back from their trips to the Himalayas. I believe they went to different places, and we will hear about that today. So I think from grade 12, we have Ritika and Aditya. And from grade 10, I believe we have Ashrika, Darsh, and Krish. Can you come up, please? Why don't we start with the 10th graders? Good morning, Ashrika. Good morning,
Good morning.
Darsh. Good morning, Krish. How was the trip?
So the trip was really fun.
So you can look at the camera and talk to your parents and whoever's watching. Okay?
So I think a week ago, on the 14th of November, we set out to Rishikesh, and we specifically the Shivpuri district of Rishikesh, where our camp was. And yeah, we took 2 flights to get there, and a 2-hour bus journey. So, and over there we did adventure sports like rafting and like this rope course, and we also did a trek.
So you did some trekking and some rafting, and what were some of the other activities that you did, Ashrika?
We did a lot of games about teamwork, leadership, and all that. So that was fun. And we also did high ropes.
High ropes. What do you do with the high ropes?
It's basically a lot of obstacles, but 30 feet in the air. So yeah.
And what was the purpose of the journey? And do you feel like it was worthwhile for you guys to take, a week away from your textbooks during a year of board exams, Krish?
Yeah, I think the main point of the trip was to kind of relax and unwind before like the last few months of our grade 10 start where the program starts to get a bit rigorous. Yeah.
So did you have a chance to relax and unwind?
Yeah, it was actually fun. We had a lot of free time, and so we all hung out, and yeah.
Great. And which teachers were with you?
Chitranti, Ganesh sir, and Prashant sir came with us, and we heard a little bit of Ganesh sir's singing and rapping skills towards the last day.
Rapping. Ganesh is a rapper? Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Okay, I'll have to ask him to do for some performance. And how was the weather?
It was really cold. So
Really cold? Like how cold?
about 17? No,
It was
12 degrees.
in the morning. It was ranging from 9 to 13 degrees, and towards the evening it got quite hot. So towards the afternoon it got hot, then it got cold in the evening again.
Sounds pretty nice, actually. Did you enjoy that weather, Krish, or would you prefer to be in Chennai with the heat and the rain?
I enjoyed it. The only down part was whenever you wash your hands would go numb because how cold of the water was.
And how was the sleeping arrangements done? Did you guys have enough sleeping bags? Did you sleep in tents or did
Yeah,
you sleep in
so-
cabins?
We expected it to be like how we went last trip. So we had a tent last trip, and we had a concrete floor where we'd place our sleeping bags and sleep. But this time it was slightly different. We had a tent, and in which there'd be 2 to 3 beds, and like they were like foldable cots. And yeah, so we didn't have a use for our sleeping bags. So
I see, but were you able to be warm enough during the evenings? Great. And what do you recommend to the grade 9s? Do you think this is a a good trip, that they should do it in grade 10? And do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, it's a really, really good trip. It was really nice, so I recommend the grade nines to go next year. But also be prepared for the coldness. That's all I can say.
Okay, great. And thank you so much. Let's hear also from the 12th graders. Maybe you could pass them the microphone, or you have a microphone. So Ritika and Aditya, I think you went a little bit higher in altitude and a little bit lower in temperature. Am I correct? Where were you?
So we went to Himachal Pradesh, Tirthan Valley. We took a flight from Chennai 9 a.m. We flew directly to Chandigarh, and then a 10-hour bus ride up to our campsite. Weather was obviously much lower than IG2. We went down to about 2 degrees in the morning, and then as it progressed, 10 degrees in the afternoon, and then down to the negatives at night. So that's kind of the rundown that we experienced, and overall, all of us had fun, and we're back here.
That sounds a little bit too cold for river rafting.
Yeah, so obviously it was really cold, so we couldn't do any water activities. So instead we did rappelling, we did jummering, which is like kind of climbing up a tree. And then we had like a lot of team building activities. We did a day out, which was extremely fun. So I think the entire purpose for us on this trip was just to sort of bond and make memories, since it's like our last year at school, just to sort of get to know each other better and help each other out. It was overall a very fun trip. I think all of us enjoyed it.
And were you gaining any skills in terms of things you don't normally do, whether it's pitching a tent or cooking a meal or staying warm or building a fire? What were some of the outdoor skills that you developed?
Yeah, so I think in the day out, we developed a lot of skills. We cooked on wood fire, so they taught us how to sort of set the fire using wood, glycerin, and potassium permanganate, which was really interesting. We also obviously learned how to stay warm because all of us coming from Chennai do not have the experience. I think it was really helpful for us because we learned, I don't know, the art of layering. That's like the easiest thing you can do, which would be really helpful for all of us in the future because many of us are going abroad and it'll be cold there. So yeah.
Sure, that sounds good. And what was the highlight of the trip, Aditya?
I think there are a lot of things that could be highlighted, but most of the team building activities, definitely, I think all of us would agree. We played things such as French football. We did like a lot of mind games. We played like trivia night at night, and I think the small things at night at the end of the day kind of made at least made my trip, because we all came together, bonded together. Me personally, I saw like the other side of some people, with our masks off, were kind of talking together, interacting with each other. So for me personally, I think the bonding was, the highlight of my trip, bonding with my classmates, before we graduate. That was definitely the highlight of my trip.
Great. And do I understand correctly that you were a week without your phones and the internet?
Yeah.
And how was that?
I think it was a really good detox. I know for a fact that in the middle, I don't think I really missed my phone that much. When I got back and I did like get on a phone, like it was really weird to type and stuff, which I think it was a good sign that we didn't really need it and we were just overall having fun with each other without, I think without the phones, that really helped us sort of bond and understand each other better.
And you agree with that?
Yeah.
You didn't go through any phone withdrawal
No,
or anything?
I did not. I think it was, as Ritika said, it was a detox for all of us. Obviously, we had a small video.
Great. And did you miss your textbooks and all the trigonometry and passage commentaries and lab reports and deadlines?
I think one thing that I did when I came back is I came back and the next day, which was yesterday, Sunday, I just ended up reading a few research papers for my physics IA, which was kind of weird. I never thought that I'd enjoy doing that, but I did enjoy getting back to it.
Very interesting, Ritika. Great. And can I ask the 10th graders how they felt about not having phones for a week?
Yeah, so like they said, it was a great detox. And yeah, I don't think I really missed my phone that much. Even when I came back, I hardly used it for the first few days. And yeah, I'm still getting used to like the devices around and stuff.
And do you guys feel the same? Yeah? It was worth it? Yeah? No internet? Not able to communicate with your friends except through talking and actually face-to-face interactions? That was okay?
Yeah, it was nice. I actually didn't miss my phone as much as I thought I would.
Uh-huh.
So that was really a nice experience.
Great. Okay. Glad to hear that. Thank you so much. And which teachers were on your trip, Ritika?
Yeah, so on our trip, we had Miss Sara and Urmi auntie.
Uh-huh.
And I think we had a lot of fun with them. I don't know if Miss Sara and Urmi auntie can say the same, but but overall, it was a lot of fun. I think even they saw a different side of us, and
Did you see a different side of them?
we did, yeah.
Yeah. Were they doing any rapping or singing
No,
or
they weren't rapping, but they were just overall having fun with us.
having a good time with you? Okay, that's fabulous. So you also recommend the trip for the grade 11s, is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be cold, but you'll get through it.
Of course. Okay, thank you so much, and thanks to all of you for your participation, and thanks especially to your teachers. I'm sure they had a great time too. Okay, thanks. All right. I think, why don't we hear real quickly from Chitra. I couldn't possibly ask Ganesh to rap. That wouldn't be nice, would it? Chitra and Ganesh and Sarah, can you come up real quickly? How was the trip, Chitra?
It was excellent, adventurous. It was fun. I mean, they kept us on, the work 24 hours. And we were enjoying seeing them enjoy.
Yeah, you were enjoying seeing
that
them
was
enjoy.
the real fact because, I remember we were often going around and we could see all of them in little groups. And we kept seeing that, they shuffled the groups and full on entertainment was there. As you said, they did not, as they were saying, they did not miss the phone because they had so much to talk.
Wow.
So much to talk.
Fantastic. And how was their behavior, Ganesh?
The behavior was outstanding, I could say, and all credits go to my lovely 10th graders. And they were on top of their behavior. They were good listeners and they were taking care of each other. That was the highlight of the entire trip. And this is my first trip with Casey in the last 7 years. This is my first INME trip and it became a memorable trip.
Wow, fabulous. And I think one of the really important things that I always like to know, did you enjoy the trip, Sarah?
Yeah, it was very nice.
Uh-huh.
Very nice trip. The landscape was amazing. And we had a lot of fun with them. Discover a new side of their personalities was very interesting for me. And some of them was amazing and outstanding. And that was very nice to see that.
Fabulous. And you enjoyed the trip too, Chitra and Ganesh?
A lot. Like, when it came to the trekking part, I was little worried, will I be able to? But the CC, the campus in charge, she was so motivating to everybody. There were kids who said, no, auntie, I can't. She says, just go, you will enjoy it. And by the time I finished, I realized that I didn't pan too much. I was enjoying it. Really, I enjoyed it. And when I landed up, of course, we had some adventures when we were rafting also. One of our boat in which I was flipped.
Right.
So all the 6 of us had and the kids behind us saying, auntie, all that we could see is 1, 2, 3, everybody is taking a leap. But then that was also a great learning because kids learn how immediately they should think, how to survive, what is the next action. So
Right.
that really worked a lot. In the end, others said that, oh, hope our boat had also flipped. We would have enjoyed. So that was the...
And do you feel like you were properly prepared and trained for what to do in case the boat flips over?
Yes. They gave us a proper training. I remember when they had to, pull me out, they were telling, they had given us 3 strategies. First, what is the step? Then if you don't succeed in, getting to the rope, what is the second step? And what is the third step? So things were very clear. The instructors were very clear. And we were like, covered up by the other boats also. And it wasn't a very dreadful experience. It was a fun experience. It was really good.
Great. Okay, that's fabulous. Thank you so much. Please give a big hand to your teachers for 7 days of dedication. I can assure you it's not easy, 24 hours a day, and I'm sure they've done a fabulous job. Thank you so much, okay? Now I believe we have 2 guests from the GGs. Am I correct? I've seen Triti and Zamir. Come. Hi, Zamir. Hi, Dhriti. How are you? And you have, it looks like you've written a story. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us, Zamir, what is it?
It's the story that we made in LA.
You made in language arts, and it looks like this one's called The Adventures of David and Jack. Is
Yeah,
that
that's-
your story? Did you
Yes.
make it up by yourself?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Um,
What did David and Jack do on their adventures?
so basically, it started off with Jack being the main character, but then I changed it to David being the main character, which I didn't plan. I just wrote it.
This story is about, can you read that for me? The story is
This?
about a boy. Yeah.
The story is about a boy who is going for a stroll, but gets completely lost and can't find his way back.
Wow. So that
This
sounds
is
like.
not mine. This is Tarun's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yours. Oh, you brought more than one story up. Okay. You also illustrated your story. Is that right, Samir?
Yes.
Do you want to read that or not read that first line?
Not read that.
You can read when you were born. All right. Tell me. Right.
Sorry, should we?
Yeah. Just tell me. India's #1 best-selling author. Wow. Okay. Tell me about Zamir Pasha. That's what it says.
Okay. Zaman Pasha is India's #1 best-selling author. He's born on August 7, 2013, and he's now 9 years old. Zamir has many hobbies like playing soccer, watching TV, writing books, but his favorite one is reading books.
Great. So that's a little passage that you had to write about all about the author. Okay. And you put in a little bit of hyperbole. Do you know what hyperbole is? It's like exaggeration for literary effect. That's okay. Okay.
I wrote 1,500 plus books, even though I've only read one.
That's called hyperbole. And you have 2 siblings, one older and one younger. Very good. Okay, tell me, Tirti, about your book. Thank you. Sorry I made you read somebody else's story. Yeah.
For me, I wrote the book, but I had a little bit of help from my friends to come up with ideas for my illustrations.
And can you tell me the title? Look at that. It's a great, it looks a bit scary. Tell me the name of the book.
It's called The Last Witch.
The Last Witch. And what happens with the last witch?
So her family is killed by a ghost. So she is the last remaining member of her family, and she goes to set out to find the killer. And she survives.
So is this in the genre of horror or mystery or
Horror and
thriller?
mystery.
Horror and mystery. Now, why did you choose the genre of horror and mystery?
We got a choice board where we were supposed to roll the dice and find out the character, weather, setting, emotion, and problem. So I got my witch as a character, the setting is a thunderstorm, the emotion is scared, and the problem was that she was chased by a ghost.
Wow. So you got sort of cast into the horror and mystery
Yeah.
genre by the dice and the choice board. Is that it?
Yes.
It was fate. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you enjoy the story?
Yes.
Did you enjoy writing it?
Yes.
And who helped you to illustrate it?
My friend Yesung.
Yes, Sung. Okay. The illustrations are great. All right. Thank you so much, Tirti. And tell me a little bit more about your story, Zamir. Did you come up with it or did you also use the choice board
I
technique?
had help from my mom.
Help from your mom, okay? And how did the story move from Jack to David, or tell me a bit about that?
When I first wrote the story, I made the starting about Jack, but then I couldn't find things that Jack would do, so I just switched the thing to David.
And tell me a bit about the characterization of Jack and David. What makes them different?
Jack is not scared, but he's a bit scared. David is very scared.
Very scared, okay. And what would you call the genre of your story? Was it comedy or
Adventure.
Adventure. Okay, great. Of course, that's why it's called The Adventures of David and Jack. Thank you so much. Did you enjoy? You enjoyed writing the story? Okay. Would you recommend to the 3rd graders when they come into GG that they should also write a story?
Yes.
And are you going to continue to write to get up to 1,500 or 1,600 books?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Are you going to continue to write and to illustrate, Drishti?
I try.
Okay, I hope you two both continue to write. Thank you so much for sharing. All right? Have a nice day. Okay? Thank you. Have a good week ahead. All right? And to all of you, have a good week ahead. Great to see you all back. Now it's back to the world of studies. I hope you have a really nice Monday and that you get back to the regular routine at KC High. Okay? Have a nice week.